Got the body off, got the frame separate, got the rotisserie as you saw, put it together, got ready to put it on the rotisserie. Front's lined up pretty good. Then I got to looking at the rear for the first time from a put it on the rotisserie standpoint, and then remembered that these body bolts that the rotisserie would eventually hook to, not only are the nuts still stuck inside this panel, which is blocked from that side, so I won't be able to bolt it, but the more I looked at it, the more I realized that this is one of the panels that I'm going to have to replace because it is rotten. So there's really no point in even trying to get this to bolt through because I'm not even sure about this as far as strength goes. So I started looking at it. I need to replace this panel from the outside. I have new fuel tank braces, and then these trunk braces on either side. I have new ones of those already. And as you can see, looks like nobody replaced them. And whoever I had do this terrible job of putting the trunk pan in just decided to put it in without doing the braces. So I think I'm going to tackle this before I even attempt to put it on the rotisserie. I just ordered this panel, should be here within the week. So for now, I'm thinking I can cut this panel out and then go through and start cutting these 4 braces out. And they go all the way up underneath. They go all the way up underneath here, which you can see needs work as well. So I'm going to get rid of all the braces, put the new braces in, get them attached to the old but new tank, and hope, and it doesn't look like it, but hope they didn't put too much weld to the old braces. Then I can cut this whole panel out, put the new panel in, and then attach all of this back so that it gets some rigidity. So I'm going to start the process of cutting. So we'll see how this goes. This should be, hopefully, fingers crossed, the only body work that I'll have to do off the rotisserie, because that, of course, needs to be strong for the rotisserie. So if I can get this whole system, the 4 braces, and then this panel here put on, I'll have strength back in the rear, and it'll come with new captured nuts here. So I can actually bolt the rotisserie to the body. I can hook the front on, I can turn it over and get better access to the rest of this stuff. So that's the next step, is to start gutting this. Okay, so I ended up cutting that panel out. Got it all out with the exception of the edges. I left the edges in so I could go through and drill all the little rivets and whatnot, or the spot welds. So I started taking off the bracket under here, this is what came out. That's just one of the brackets I took off. This is the panel I'm replacing to add strength back to the rear end. And in the same process, I will also have new body bolts. This is the original tab. It's all gone and broken. So this new panel will have all that in it. So that's definitely the main reason to get in there and do it. The rest of it needs to be replaced, but it's not perfect. I'm not going for perfect. I'm going to coat it, treat it, paint it, and do it the best I can. The new brackets, I'm going to come in, cut the old ones off, weld in the new ones. Well, hello. One more.
They're getting bigger! Wait, there's a nice little one over there.
SS 396, got some parts in. Even though mine's not an SS or 396. Or if you're familiar with the Chevelle stuff, this is one of the companies that you can buy parts for, or from. And hopefully this is the trunk panel, excuse me, that I just cut out for the most part. I went ahead and ordered these as well. I don't need them right now, but the two bigger boxes are hopefully my inner fenders for the front. So I'm going to open these up, make sure they're not completely destroyed, and then I can keep them and don't need to return them. I won't bore you with that, but we'll jump back in once I get the SS 396 box, this one in particular, open. Boy, that is a difference. New panel versus old. That's what it was supposed to look like. But just while I have them out, here is the right hand fender. Hoping the glare isn't too bad. Y'all can maybe pause it. I'll just show you what it has on here. That is for the driver's side, inner fender, passenger side, inner fender. I don't see another tag on this one, so that must have been all of it. But shipping was fine. They don't look too beat or banged up. I mean, I should be in real particular. You can see like a little tiny scratch on it, but I do not care. As far as this panel goes, I was always really unsure about what this panel was called. So if you're curious, this barcode calls it a Chevelle 7172 rear crossbar. And then this one calls it a rear body cross rail. So there are the two. If you want to look that up and you're repairing your own. But another important part about replacing this panel, that if you're curious, goes like that behind the rear bumper, is I've got 2 threaded holes here and then 4 threaded holes across the bottom, which are those captured nuts I was telling you guys about. I'll shake it, you can see them move, or at least you can hear them move. So at least now I don't have to deal with that. It's got all new captured nuts in it, so that's one really good thing about replacing this panel. And of course it was destroyed in the first place, and I needed this stuff. So now when I put all that back on, I will not only have a lot more structure and a lot less rust, but I'll have nice new nuts to put the bolts back into for the body mounts. Tomorrow is pumpkin patch day with the daughter and the wife, so that'll be fun. I'll probably come out here and work for about an hour or so before we go to the pumpkin patch. And then Sunday I'll be out here all day. So the next couple clips y'all see will be at that time. Yeah, I kind of got messed up again this week. Our AC unit sprung a leak, so I've been dealing with that for this week, so I haven't been out to get out of the car. But that's life. That's how things work. But I'm going to try not to let it slow me down, because this is the kind of stuff that gets in everybody's way. And I'm hoping the thing that'll set me apart is that I'll keep going and not use it as an excuse. So, yeah, I guess I'll catch you tomorrow morning. Morning. Whew. It is brisk on this October morning before we go to the pumpkin patch today with the family. I think I've got about 2 hours. I can get some work done. It's chilly out here. What's the temperature? 52. Some people love the cold. I am not a fan. But I'm gonna get my heater hooked back up so I can get the temperature up out here. All right, guys, I took you off time lapse because as I'm going, I'm learning what's the best for my particular project. And with rotten material and then the way I'm doing it, I tried grinding it, I tried cutting it, separating it, and then I kind of ran across this by accident. If I got a tab to start with, it seems like I can take a good hefty set of pliers, and if I get a little bit of rotation in it, I can put the head of those pliers right at the spot weld, grip it, and pull it out. Now it does leave holes sometimes, but I'm gonna have to do that anyway. So if you watch it, I'm just gonna grab this, I'm gonna rotate up, prying, and it just pops that spot weld off. And I bend this extra bit out of my way so I can get closer to the next one. You could bite and then pop it off. Now I'm sure if this was nice, good metal, it would not work this easy. But for at least these two sections, kind of got in a rhythm, and that was definitely the fastest. It took a little bit of manpower, but it does seem to work at a much greater success rate than everything I've used so far. Here you can see where it's ripping those spot welds off, and then it's pulling a little hole. All right, real quick, I just wanted to show you a very short amount of time with the hammer and dolly, what you can get. I would definitely recommend getting some rudimentary hammer and dolly tools. I've just got some of these. One there, that one there. Just that and a regular old ball peen hammer using the flat side. And see, I've got it somewhat straightened out, a lot flatter underneath, and then here's where I stopped. I am just destroying this trunk pan trying to get these off, and I need to find a better way. So I'm doing now what I probably should have been doing from the beginning, which is, let me grab flashlight so you can see it. Grinding down the material, and you can't always get it, but sometimes it will show you the metal's not too rusted. I don't know if it's going to come up on camera, but you kind of have to use the glare. I don't know if you can see it. But basically, I've gone through and ground down until I can locate. There's a good one. You can see that one. A little dot right there. That, I need like 4 hands to do this crap, is where the spot weld is. So if I can go through and mark all of these ahead of time. There's another one right there. It's hard. And mark those. Come back with the hole saw kit. I mean, it's going to put a hole in it, but I got to do something different. Instead of ripping giant chunks of metal out, I'll have at least uniform holes in it. I can go through, and I could probably use those holes in the trunk pan for when I put the brace back on. I won't drill holes in those locations. I can weld it from the top. So plug welding it from the top. So that'll actually work out pretty good. So again, I'm no restoration expert. So if you're looking for real suggestions, go to one of these other YouTube channels. There's plenty of guys online that are doing really, really good stuff. This is just what I'm doing. So we'll see how it turns out. But it is pumpkin patch time for me. So I will catch y'all, this is Saturday, I'll catch y'all tomorrow morning. Hopefully I'll have a good amount of time to spend on this, and we can finish getting the braces off. And then, I don't know, we'll go one step at a time. So I'm going to the pumpkin patch. Y'all have a good time with y'all's family, whatever holiday it may be when you watch this. But for me, it's close to Happy Halloween. Catch you in a few seconds. Good morning. Been a few seconds for you guys. Been about 24 hours for me. Had an awesome time at the pumpkin patch for the first time with the family. So that was awesome. Anyways, it's Sunday morning. Getting back to work. I'm going to try to make some progress today. Alright, a lot of dirty grinding, cutting, chiseling, grinding, sanding, wire brushing. A lot of that later. And it looks like I did nothing. No, it actually looks like I got somewhere. Not big changes like it was in the beginning. Go ahead and cut this fan off so y'all can hear me. I should say fans, plural. Oh, too much stuff in here. All right, maybe you can hear me a little better now. I didn't think there was any point in me time-lapsing every single project. So I'm just going to time-lapse a little bit to get some ideas of what I'm doing, and then the redundant stuff, or not the redundant, but repetitive stuff, I'm going to just jump to it. It's hard to, I've said this in many videos before, takes quite a bit to actually film and work. So, you know, if you're not doing it yourself, it's hard to understand. But a good portion of time, like if something takes an hour, it takes like 2 hours to do it and film, because you gotta change locations and get the story down. So those guys, you watch YouTube channels and everything just seems flawless, and they give you all the good angles of view, and they're just way better than my channel. Give them props, because that takes a lot of work and planning. I mean, it's like a job. Mine, a little more laid back, not as good, but I'm taking you along nonetheless. So I have gotten everything cleaned up and all of the bracketry off, underneath and above, and it's not perfect, does not look great, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the brackets in and then address this stuff from the top side. So, but I at least went through and cleaned where I need to put these brackets so that I can tack them in place and then put this rear panel on and get it on the rotisserie. But kind of in order of which to do that, I would like to treat the metal first. So I'm gonna spray, I think I'm gonna use Ospo. It's just a chemical, you know, stopping of the rust and hopefully preventing it in the future. So tonight, before I go inside, I'm gonna spray all this down with Ospo, and then that way it can dry overnight. And then tomorrow I'll come back and I'll spray weld through primer on all of the spots where the braces go. And that way I can tack the braces on, and they have Ospo and primer underneath of them. So there's a level or layer of protection, but I can still weld it. And then that way, you know, tomorrow or the next day I can start welding up this rear structure panel. So I don't want to spray the Ospo on it now, because then I kind of have to stop working. So I'm going to go ahead and fit this rear panel the best that I can. And then that'll be kind of what I'm doing today. I'm going to use my Clecos. I'm going to get the panel up, clamp it down, get it fitting how I want it to fit. And then that way, all right, when I'm done with that, I know it fits. I can take it off, spray the whole thing with Ospo, let it sit for 24 hours, come back, prime everything, and start putting the braces on, and then that'll put me up top. So that's kind of the order of which I'm doing things today. So, all right, welcome back from lunch. I accidentally got started before I started the camera. Accidentally. Starting to fit this new panel on. The only thing you missed was me sticking it up here and then grabbing it with some vice grips. And then making sure I had it correct left to right, because there's just maybe about a, I don't know, 3/16 of an inch you can move it back and forth. So I'm gonna go through and put these Clecos on as I get it fitted right. These are 3/16 Clecos. I'll show you the process of putting one in real quick. You can order them in different sizes. I'm sure they've got different reasons for different sizes. I just ordered 3/16 because it sounded good. See, where else would I put this? Actually, I already put one in. I'll just show you that one. All I did here was so you see that one's a little bit tight. I did the first one. I got the panel up nice and flush and then drilled through 3/16, and it went in really easily. And I thought maybe I should go down a size on drill bits, which whatever the fractional size is, I think it's 11 something. I drilled this one at 11 something and it would not go in. And you can see I had to kind of move the bit around a couple times and it just barely fits. So I'm gonna go back to the 3/16 setup. because I think the 3/16 obviously was designed for that. I just wanted to make sure. But that's all a Cleco is. I mean, you basically just fit this panel as you go, and then this temporarily holds it on. Here, let me mess with this other one because it shouldn't normally be this tight. This is what a 3/16 one does. Pulls right out. So you just drill through it, get these little Clecos and the pliers. All they do is allow the end to narrow up, and then when it comes back, it grabs the OD of the hole and holds all the sheets together. That's all it is to it. All right, I figured I'd show you guys the mock-up set it. I'm probably not gonna film me spraying the rust inhibitor stuff because it's pretty potent and I'm not sure what it would do to the camera lens. So I will just show you the after effect, but essentially it sprays on like Windex, but way more potent. So after this video, I'm gonna take all the Clecos out, take all the panels off, then spray everything down with that rust stuff, the OSFO and the KBS blast system. Then let it sit overnight, and I'll show you what it looks like tomorrow when I get off of work. But here's what I did. Went through and got everything fitted up. Put Clecos in and fitted up the braces. Not absolutely perfect, but they're about where I want them to be. I got to do some bending on the 90s as I'm welding it, spot welding it. I'll start back here, weld it in, then bend those up. They're just a little bit off on the bends, but they're close enough where I don't need to mess with them at the moment. But that's it. It's pretty good work for the day. Got all the paneling on. Now I just need to treat it, prime it, paint it, and then put it back on, weld it in. Then I think I can get it on the rotisserie. So still got a good little bit of work before the rotisserie, but at least kind of the hard bits of cutting and grinding should be mostly done for this step. All right, if you're wondering what the green spray paint's for, is real time here and not in YouTube universe. It is almost Halloween, and we're doing a go-kart race with character themed go-karts, and I am Bowser. So I'm sure that video is probably already posted well before this one. So if you want to see what I look like in my go-kart with a fiberglass car body with a Bowser shell on the back of it, with a bunch of other grown adults that should be in go-karts, go check that video out. I'll put a link in the description or something. But one of the many things that I spend my time doing, having fun. Yeah, I just walked in the shop after work today, so we will see how the spray, rust, whatever you want to call it, converter worked. Just glancing at it, it looks like I probably should have used a brush. to brush it around. All I did was spray it. But that's the reason why I didn't film it, because as you can see, that stuff is pretty rank. It even made a little bit of a mark on the concrete. But I took the rest of those panels off and I just sprayed the crap out of them. And this is what I got. I'm not really going to touch it right now. I'm probably going to put some gloves on and touch it first. But you can see where it's not like white. It turned all of that leftover rust like this black color, which is typically what it does. This is the first time I've used this brand, so I'm not sure what the white is. It's probably just too much of it on there, I'm guessing. But it typically looks like that black when it's done. It probably needs to dry a little bit more, maybe. I'm not sure. But all right, after doing a little bit more research, the white that was left over was just like powder, which after doing research, it's a leftover zinc phosphate from the chemical process of whatever it does. So like you go brush it and it just comes off like baby powder. So I have to get all of that off, clean it with a solvent, and then paint it. I've already brushed it a little bit and a lot of it's come off. So I'll have to do that process, brush it off. I think my paint comes in tomorrow. I didn't pay any attention. I should have paid attention, but all of my standard products that I keep in the shop, I pretty much wiped clean when I did my square body restoration. So like all of my primers and solvents and just all this little stuff that you don't pay attention to that nickel and dimes you to death, I typically keep in stock, and I used it last time. So every time I'm running into standard products like primer, I'm having to reorder it, so it's taking a couple days at a time. So that all should be here tomorrow. So I should be able to clean this up, get my primer in, prime everything, paint everything, put it back up, and get it ready to weld in place. So I guess the next time I catch up with you is I should have some primed metal. All right, today I am prepping those panels for paint. This is typically all I use. It's cheap, it's good, it works, so I'm gonna use this for now. Basically just going to go through all the panels and clean it all of the residue from using that product. My paint is supposed to show up sometime today, but it has not shown up yet. So we shall see, but I am basically just doing this, getting to these panels where all that residue is, and cleaning it just like you would if it was a regular panel that didn't look rusty. So that when I do go to paint it, I've got good adhesion and it's not clogged up with dirt and painting over top of dirt, or in this case, phosphoric something, zinc, another blah blah blah, whatever the heck chemical it leaves. Phosphorus zinc, I think is what it was. But that's basically what I'm doing. I mean, I just did like what, 20 inches by 7 inches, and that's what it's pulling off. So until I can wipe it and not get that, it's not ready for paint. So that is what I'm doing this evening. You can see in the background there, like I told you a few moments ago, I'm working on the go-kart to get it straight for our Halloween bash go-kart race. So if you were curious, this is the go-kart that I created for our little go-kart racing series that we tinker around with a couple times a year to have fun. I tried to get it to where I could pull start this thing while inside, because it's a pain to get inside and out, in and out. So I made a little pulley system, and I didn't realize how much of your lower body you actually use when you pull start these things. So standing up, pulling this, you can pull it, but you don't realize how much of your lower body you use. So when you're sitting down, you can't use your lower body. And oh my gosh, I tried pulling this while I was sitting in there, and that was essentially impossible. But I need to move it anyway, so I'll probably keep that set up. But yeah, here's a little go-kart. It's a little Predator 212. I put some racing go-kart slicks on it because that's what we're running, so we don't tear up the yards too bad. Because we're not racing on like actual sanctioned racetracks. We're just basically tinkering around in everybody's backyard, having a good time. So if you're curious of any of this shenanigans, check out some of my older videos. And that video of the Halloween race is probably already posted, so check that out. It's fun, nothing fancy, just a bunch of people having a good time. So I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between this and that as I'm waiting for paint and whatnot. So I will continue this, and then I'll probably drain the oil in that so it's ready for the race this weekend. And I think that's all I have to do to that one. All right, folks. Did some priming yesterday like I said I would. That primer turned out pretty good. Did a good job. This is the inside of the bracing that I won't have access to, which is why I'm kind of taking a break from the metal work to get onto the paint. And same thing under here. I just primed the areas where the bracing is going to go because I'm not going to have access to it anymore. And then of course this whole rear panel I won't have access to anymore, so I primed all of that. In case you're wondering, the primer I'm using, just because it's a small area, ordered some aerosol rusty metal primer from Rust-Oleum. Looks like it's got some of the qualities that I want. So that's what I'm going to use. Then to cover that up, seal it in, I'm going to use this Rust-Oleum Professional High Performance Enamel. It is semi-gloss black, so I'm going to use that to cover up all the primed areas. So in order to know where I'm going to drill my holes, I'm going to take each one of these panels back, put the clecos back in it, and that way it's in place, something like this. And then I can go through and, I guess you can't see it if I'm holding the camera, put an outline to where they're supposed to be, then measure this surface, and then take the difference. And then that way when I pull this back off, I'll have holes drilled in the trunk pan, so that then when I put the panel back up, I can come in from the top side and plug weld these braces in. So that's the idea. That's what I'm gonna go for, because the trunk pan on this one side is in rough shape anyway. I figured I would do this on the trunk pan since it already has holes in it. I'll probably try to utilize those holes so I can fill them. And then if I need to add holes, I can add holes. So that's what I'm gonna do. But first I need to put a layer of black paint on it. All right, got everything painted last night. Can't remember if I showed you or not, but real quick, everything is painted black. Probably can't see because it's shadows, but there it is. It's treated, it's coated, it's ready to be covered up for the most part. Little wasp. Yeah. I am going to just take one of these brackets at a time, cleco it back on, and from underneath clean a little spot so that I can weld, push up against the lower panel as tight as I can get it, weld a little strip. I'm gonna do that a couple spots, and then I'll finish the welding from the top side. But I think I'm just gonna go one panel at a time, get it kind of tacked on, and then come in from the top and kind of lay it in, make it structural. So I'm gonna do that. lost cause. So that when it cools off. But none of this is pretty by any means. But should hold better than it was. And it's not the only thing I'm going to do to strengthen this area. I'm going to go through and plate a lot of the stuff that I have not gone through and fixed. So plug welded what I could get to, basically everything but the uprights, and those I have kind of stitch welded underneath. So I believe that's strong enough. And I've gotten these two done. I've got the other tank brace and then the other trunk brace. After I do those two, I'll be working on this outside panel. So probably look weird because it's in 360 mode right now, so I'm probably all distorted, but and now you're probably looking into the sun. Well, the beauty of 360 mode. I don't have to grab the camera, but it takes like 4 times as much memory. So, yeah, it's getting kind of late. I'm gonna head in for dinner. Tomorrow we got Halloween, so that'll be fun. And I got a little bit of time Saturday morning before the go-kart race, so I may work on it a little bit, or I might just haul it all off till Sunday. Anyway, I think I'm gonna call it a night on that. And I'll be satisfied with that. Got to catch y'all in a couple seconds. Actually, I gotta stop saying that because I probably say it way too much, and I'm hating myself for having to edit that out so many times. So, yeah, on to the next step. So I got quite a bit of work done since I turned the camera on. Might not look like it, but I did. Finished welding in all of the lower braces, got the rear cross brace, put it on, marked out all the plug welds that I was going to do, and then plug welded all of it in. Shot some primer on those spots just so they wouldn't rust on me. Welded it from the back side of the panel, the other side of this, and then all along these edges. And then I even welded it down here, which it might have been factory, but the one I took off definitely didn't have any welds here. So I just tried to add some strength. I welded all along here as well. So I think that's the little nut that's inside there. That's the body bolt. I think we're ready to try to put this on the tool rack. I mean the rotisserie. I got the rotisserie on, hooked up. It is, even though the lift is up in the air, I just got it lifted, so it is currently 100% on the rotisserie. Put this last little piece back. So I just lined everything up. I got everything tight now so that it shouldn't turn or rotate side to side. It's currently sitting on the cylinders, not on the main jack stands. So that will give me the height I need to rotate it. And then once I find that height, I can locate it, put this big bolt and find one of these holes. I ended up dropping down the front almost to the lowest setting, I think, to try to get the center of gravity of the car right in the middle of that. The rear body mounts are a little bit higher. So I think I'm like 2 from the bottom, kind of like in the halfway point. So we'll see and feel that out and see if that's center of gravity or not. That's it, basically. Just grabbed the 2 body bolts in the back, grabbed the 2 body bolts in the front, and then underneath this beam just slides together and you tighten those down so that the rotisserie pieces don't separate from each other. So yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm gonna back the lift out of the way go up to the next closest pin, which is going to be about halfway between that one and this one's already pretty close. So I guess it'll be lifting the car up. Maybe I'll lift the back and drop the front. Not sure yet. So I'm just going to hang you up here and you can watch. But this is the sketchy part, because unlike some of these nicer rotisseries that have like the hand crank on the side, where it's like a worm drive and a gear, and then it's controlled by that gear. This one literally just has on-off switch. I can't complain. I'm borrowing it for free. But that does mean if I don't have it balanced perfectly, when I loosen those and I start to roll, if it's top heavy, it'll swing down and all that weight will be on me. So I might have to rig up some type of straps to let one side down slowly until I can figure out whether it's balanced or not. But let me get the lift out of the way and we'll progress forward. I'm just sketched out to the fact that I've just got these four little bolts holding this thing, and then when I turn it upside down, it just doesn't seem like a lot of metal there. But people have videos of them doing this all the time. So still pretty solid because I got this one locked in. In my head, I'm just thinking about as soon as I loosen this bolt, the whole thing's gonna fall over. I guess it's just because I've never used it before, so I'm unfamiliar with it. Alright, starting to turn. I also got to make sure if it does for some reason like roll over, I can get out of the way. Okay. I'm leaking coolant. There's still leftover coolant in this car. That's incredible. It looks like it'll be close, but I think it'll be enough. That is scary. Everything seems to be holding. Woo. quarter panel here is going to be really close. Oh, the rust. Still clear. Oop. Okay, so there's your center of balance. It just rolled back. So that means I'm actually a little bit too low, which is fine. I would rather that than have the center of balance too high and it want to flip over on me. That's cool. Alright, well then, let me keep this with me so I can turn it and then tighten it down. Which means it's a little heavy on that side right now, which seems to be fine. It's not a, because I feel like enough to tip it over. So. Hey! I got my Chevelle on a rotisserie. That's pretty intense. Check. Cool. Come check it out. I'm gonna switch video types so you get a better quality. Okay, so that should be a little bit better quality video. I'm off the 360. Here's what I got. The old rotten Chevelle up on the rotisserie. It's an interesting view. Never thought I would be seeing that angle of this car. This is the kind of crap that you were hearing. I go through and clean all that junk out in places that it normally sits. Woo! That's ugly. Well, this will be easier to work on, just like that. I ordered this brace. I'm hoping is what I ordered. I was really banking on this brace not needing to be replaced. But if we're honest, I'm not real sure. If I get into it, I gotta clean it all to really tell the shape of it. But if I get into it and it's rotten, I'll go ahead and order this one. I mean, of course, it's what most would consider rotten, but there's some metal left there. We'll see. Even if I just have to like plate a couple sections to add some strength back to it, I'd rather do that than put the whole panel in. But I know this one is obviously gone. I think this one's salvageable. Of course, the pan's garbage. But I can like come out to here, come up, place it like that, and then keep a lot of the original pan. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, like all this has got to go. Anyways, I'm getting hooked on the small stuff because this is the first time I'm seeing the underside of it without laying on my back. And stuff's still falling out of it, so it's sketching me out. But here's a little bit better shot of the braces and stuff that I put in. Yeah, I know it's not perfect, but it's way better than it was. So I'm gonna go through and repair some of this. But there's that new cross member, which hope, knock on wood, that I don't eat my words, but it looks like it's holding great. That cross member was not in the car, and I just welded it in, and it's holding the entire car sideways. So shows you the power of just a little bit of new metal, how much stronger the whole car will get. Just need to put like a vibrator on the side of this thing and get all the rust out of it. Cool, cool. All right, well, I'll stop rambling. I'm sure you guys have seen this 100 times before, but if you haven't and you're like me, I hope you can feel the excitement. It's a pretty cool thing. Never thought I'd be doing this kind of stuff. All right, on to the next step, which tonight is go to bed, but I guess we'll see what tomorrow brings. And I'm sure I'm probably ending the video off here because I got to find stopping points so I can post these things on YouTube. But thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying it. If you are, leave a comment. Let me know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, what you want to see more of, less of, however you want to do it. But it helps the engagement and whatnot. So there's the old Chevelle up on its side. Thanks for watching. Catch you in a minute. Well, hopefully catch you in a minute because you keep watching my videos, but catch you next time.